boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of the Concession Stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the review of the Japanese epic kaiju film, Godzilla Minus One, which is the 37th Godzilla film. This is a long-standing franchise, and this is just the latest edition. Now, this is not a continuation of Godzilla versus Kong or the other Godzilla films that were released recently in the United States. This is a Japanese film, total production of this, and where it originated from. And this is a highly regarded film. I was late to the party once again on this particular film, even though I was super excited. I wanted to see it, couldn't find time until today, and I finally got around to go see Godzilla Minus One, and it was worth the wait. This was an amazing film. In this film, post-war Japan deals with the emergence of Godzilla. This film does something that the American versions of Godzilla films can't do, and that is have a human story that works. As much as I enjoy the latest Godzilla films that have been released for what they are, I even enjoyed the Apple Plus TV show or the Apple TV Plus TV show Monarch. A really good show. I enjoy that. But it's something missing from those films. It's good to see Godzilla do his due proper. See, I'm a child of the 80s, which means I grew up watching Creature Feature every Saturday morning, or afternoon, when they had it was Saturday morning cartoons. There was Soul Train, and then it was Creature Feature and Kung Fu Theater. That was the lineup for Saturday. And the majority of the creature features were Godzilla films. And it was the American versions, and I say American dubbed versions of these old man in a suit Godzilla films. And they were exciting. It was fun to watch these movies. Now with the advent of special effects and visual effects and whatnot, you can take it up a notch. In this film, we follow a kamikaze pilot from World War II. This picks up in 1945, and we follow this kamikaze pilot who has technical issues with his plane, so he lands on his island, and later on gets attacked by Godzilla, and he ran away. He ran off, and these people that was helping him on his island end up being murdered, and by Godzilla, and he was the only survivor. And so he's been living with this guilt all this time. See, what I love about this film, and I'm not gonna name the actors, just look up their names because I will butcher them. Oh my God, would I butcher them? I butcher American names. So I'm going to butcher a Japanese name, and I don't want to disrespect, but I enjoyed all the performances here, especially our lead, and he is carrying this movie with so much weight, dealing with the guilt. If in case you don't know where the origin of Godzilla comes from, at least the inception of it, Godzilla is meant to be a commentary on nuclear war and what happened in World War II. And this film really brings it out. It was insinuated in other adaptations of Godzilla, but this film really drives it home, and it was beautifully done, beautifully written, beautifully directed. Oh my God, the direction in this film. This film was produced, written, and directed by the same guy, and he also did the visual effects. What a job by this director. I'm gonna attempt to say his name. Takase Zumake. I believe that's how I say his name. But in any event, beautiful job by this director. I mean, as I was saying before, the lead actor who is dealing with PTSD from the war. He's dealing with the guilt of what happened on that island. He's dealing with uh, taking his orphan baby that he is trying to take care of, and so much going on around him. He gets a job to detonate landmines or water mines in the ocean after the war, which is a dangerous job, but it pays well because it's so dangerous. And he's dealing with Godzilla reemerging and all. I mean, it's just so much on him, and he carried it well in the story, the human element in this film, where you get from all of the characters is unbelievable. This was a tour de force, should I say, or dare I say masterpiece in some instance of the word. This film caught me completely off guard as far as how emotionally invested you will get, watching it. I didn't expect that. I'm expecting to see just Godzilla stomp around for 2 hours, but it's not that. But you get such a great story. You don't even realize Godzilla hasn't shown up for like an hour. You know what I'm saying? It's the film is so well put together. And when he does, Godzilla does show back up, it's even more exciting. That Godzilla was just the cherry on top of the cake, and it looks so amazing. This film was made for $15 million. Now that's a lot of money for me and you, but as far as making a big blockbuster kaiju war film, that is virtually impossible. Independent movies cost more in some instances, and you can classify this as an independent film. This film cost $15 million, and when you watch the special effects and look at how detailed Godzilla looked in this film, it will blow your mind. And bravo, I just tipped my hat. I can't believe that they got this monster to look this good. The kaijus in Godzilla King of the Monsters, which came out a few years ago, didn't look this good. Godzilla versus Kong didn't look this good. This looks amazing. It looks so realistic, and it was so grounded, and that's another thing that I enjoyed about it. When you watch the Warner Brothers legendary films from the last few years, it feels like a movie. This doesn't feel like a movie. This, in some instances, it feels like a documentary, and you know what I'm saying. Even though they interwoven stock footage and stuff, but it still works. It still works. It flowed. It was paced perfectly. Completely enjoyed it. I can't recommend this enough. If you're a fan of kaiju films, if you're a fan of the Godzilla lore, this is a perfect film for you. I can honestly say this is one of the best films of 2023. Godzilla -1 gets a letter grade of an A. This film doesn't have a flaw. I really was sitting there just baffled on how amazing of a film this was and how well put together it was. Unbelievable. I'm really kicking myself. I waited this long to watch it, but it was worth it. It was worth it. I can't wait to watch it again. This was a great, great film. Visual effects, direction, story, characters, the score. I forgot to mention the score. We get that old school theme from the old Godzilla films. Dun, 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 dun. It was amazing. This is amazing. I cannot champion this film enough. Godzilla -1 gets an A. I would like to know, have you checked out Godzilla -1? How did you like it? If you're a fan of this film franchise, how do you rank it? I hear a lot of critics say this was the best Godzilla ever. And I want to agree, but I don't want to leap out the window just yet. I want to let this simmer a little bit, but my feelings right now, I completely agree. But we'll see when as time goes on. How does it age? How does it hold up in second and third viewings? But I honestly, I don't see it changing. I don't see it changing, but I would like to know, what is your feelings. You can email the show kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the KB Radio Network on all social media platforms, including YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. While you're in a liking mood, don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of Godzilla Minus One. Want you all to know that I love you, continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.